Welcome back to another week of Stocks in Review for the upcoming week. In this special edition, besides reviewing suggestions for next week and news that can affect your investments, for every week of October, we're going to take a look at some of the spookiest stocks of recent memory. Stocks that have caused financial havoc on thousands of investors, and some that to this day still have quite the following or a lot of bag holders. The name bashing between North Korea and President Trump have reached such high levels that military experts are placing odds of a military confrontation between the two countries at nearly 50%. You won't be happy if you invested in a company the day before any action takes place, so watch the news close. The likelihood of tax and healthcare reform taking place this year continue to drop every day the more controversy takes place in Washington. This will continue to limit real growth as well as investor sentiment. In cryptocurrency news, Mexico announced this week that they're drafting legislation in order to regulate companies that interact with all types of digital currencies, along with the wider financial technology sectors. In October, Japan's Financial Services Agency plans on conducting full surveillance of digital currency exchanges by looking into the internal system operations and methods to protect assets of customers. For my personal Ethereum investment, I've just been waiting on either the price to drop below the 270s or go above 305 a coin so that I can sell and then re-enter at an appropriate price. Good luck with that. Our weekly updates for the top 3 performing ETFs have been pretty flat, so nothing major to report on that front. On watch for the week, I have 22nd Century Group, Nvidia, AMD, and Apple. On Monday, 22nd Century Group announced that the option agreement with British American Tobacco had completed and that the company will have no rights to any intellectual property or assets of 22nd Century Group, essentially removing all restrictions and allowing the company to be able to freely move forward. Initially, the stock had gone up, but then uncertainty sunk in and the stock dropped as much as 7% during the early trading hours. I see the low to mid $2 range as being the current level of resistance. The company has too much going on for it, and it will be going up again soon. Nvidia and Advanced Micro Devices shares dropped late Monday after Intel unveiled new core desktop processing chips that are upwards of 25% better for PC gaming versus earlier models. Every time something like this happens, and it only happened dozens of times in the last umpteen years, the rivalry company shares drop, then bounce back shortly thereafter. Use the dip as a buying opportunity. In terms of Apple stock, it's taken quite a beating recently, falling from a high of $164 to the low of $150 range this week, a price we haven't seen since mid-summer. The experts say that it was a gamble to introduce the iPhone X while sales of the iPhone 8 have been somewhat lackluster. Apple is a great company and has had an awesome quarter with impressive earnings per share. If you can get in the low 150s, but preferably in the mid to low 140s, I say Apple is a buy and a good 6-month hold short of any catastrophes. A new stock and a dividend-paying stock for next week that I'm suggesting is Constellation Brands Incorporated, ticker symbol STZ. This Victor, New York company has 8,700 employees and is a favorite of Jim Cramer on Mad Money. It produces, imports, and markets wine, beer, and various spirits throughout North America and overseas. They have an excellent management team, the charts look really great here, and they've been a respectable company to its shareholders for a long time. I don't see how you can go wrong here, even if you choose to hold it for the long term. They report earnings on Thursday during the pre-market. Let's take a look at the notorious ticker symbol DRYS for Dry Ships Incorporated. This company owns and operates ocean-going cargo vessels worldwide. They were started in 2004 and is based in Athens, Greece. So you might wonder what an innocent little stock at just a couple of dollars would have to do in order to fall on our spooky stock list. Well, to start off, the stock would have to, well, why don't you guess? How much in terms of percentage would it have to go up in order to reach its all-time high? 50%? 250%? How about 25,000%? No, maybe 250,000%. It can't be. Why don't you try 2.6 billion% to get back to its all-time high price? There's been so many reverse splits on this stock that most investors have lost count. Since it's a foreign company, they only have to do a limited amount of paperwork in terms of filing for the Securities and Exchange Commission, compared to domestic companies. The CEO of the private company that owns most of the $200 million worth of debt has massive voting rights for his preferred shares versus the stock for common shareholders. The CEO basically gets 4 votes for every 1 that a common shareholder gets, which essentially allows him to make all the company rules without the need for any approval. A very scary situation. Investors, or gamblers as you could say, still make money on day and swing trades with this stock regardless of its tainted past. A very risky, or as we're saying this month, very spooky decision. Please remember that investing in the stock market carries risk. Never invest more than you can afford to lose or not have access to for an extended period of time. If you like our videos, we appreciate if you could be so kind to click like and subscribe. Have a great day, and we'll see you next week.